Previously on Automotive Tales. I made myself useful, holding up the boot lid with my head. We found some dodgy music in the back of the Volvo, and HVS's very own Tiff was caught on camera doing behind-the-scenes videos. On today's episode, we're charging ahead with a test on the, charging circuits. Then we're hoping to get it up. The car, that is. So testing the voltage across the battery, and then we're going to check to see whether the lead from the alternator, which is over here, is actually transmitting all the power. If there's any excess resistance in that cable, which is causing us to get slightly lower voltage. So it's testing about 13.4. Generally speaking, you should be looking for about 14.4 volts out of the alternator.
We're going to see if there's any voltage loss across the leads from the alternator to the battery. If I poke it in. So at the alternator we got slightly more, we got almost 13.7. So if we would find, so that is about the maximum the alternator's putting out. It's 13.7.
So it's slightly undercharging.
Yeah, we're losing 0.4 roughly.
Okay, so explain to me what we're seeing here then.
So we've got 13.4 volts charging at the battery, roughly, and 13.7 from the alternator. So what we've done is volt drop test the power lead from the alternator to the battery. You can see there, you'd expect 0 volts, or 0 volts would be perfect. But we're losing 0.3 volts, which is kind of acceptable on an older car.
Yeah.
But combined with a weak alternator, it could be better.
So effectively just confirms it's not the wiring, it's actually the alternator itself that's sort of on its last legs. Not dead, but getting there.
It's almost unacceptable, that volt drop across that lead. I mean, if you were to replace the alternator or that lead, you're going to increase the charging at the battery.
So you might remember about a year ago I actually bought a spare alternator for this car because I suspected there was a problem with it. So I wasn't far wrong. So we might fit that one, or if we can get hold of an OEM one, they can fit one of those as well.
Quite low.
Yes, I think it's on stock springs.
It's very low.
I found the clonking problem. That there's like 2 coils there when there should only really be 1.
Yeah, I mean the bump stop has deteriorated. It's gone. That's why it's dropped its dust cover.
And there's a few spiders to evict as well.
Yeah, we've got quite the nest going on there.
It's like Halloween in here. Yeah, so that would explain a few things. And also, there's like a spike or something. It looks like, is that supposed to have a little plastic nut over the top of it?
It should, yeah.
Right,
yeah,
okay.
This one's missing here as well.
Yeah. I wonder whether the arch liner was out when the power steering pump was done. Ages ago.
We have got some plastic nuts here. So
Excellent.
Do you do brand shout outs on anything?
Why?
Paul's a brand ambassador to Envoy tyres.
Ah, I see.
I've not tried them personally, but I want to.
We can give them a go if they do the right tyre size. These are really odd tyre size.
Yeah, I mean it's got high flies on it at the moment. Pretty sure Envoy will be better.
Is that a 12 date code?
Yeah, 2012.
So yeah, they've been around for a while. It's a shame it's low tread.
Yeah, he's perishing now as well.
But you can see, it looks all right on the outside, but look at the perishing in there. It's absolutely shot. So, and this is the one that always goes flat when it's on our 4 poster. So, I mean, with the 2012 date code, there's no keeping a tyre like that. It's not really safe to use on the road. So yeah, we're going to look into some new tyres for sure. the state of that. Yeah, that's not great. So, Mr. Cowland, if you're watching this, apparently you're the brand ambassador for a really rather good tyre brand. Maybe you want to see whether they get some tyres for a T5R. So, well, we can start up top, can't we?
Are we dancing?
Yeah, we're dancing. We can start up top. We've got a matching, absolutely knackered spring bump stop. And dust covers dropped with the bump stop, so that's good. A few less cobwebs in this side. What else have you found, Aaron?
So, if you can see in there, this brake hose is twisted, and it's actually rubbing on the anti-roll bar link.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. Rightfully so, it's an MOT failure. Yeah, we've got a nice Jubilee clip on the inner CV boot there, and inner and outer. Well,
well,
at least it's got a matching.
It's not leaking though.
I mean, they're not leaking, no. I would leave them alone if it was mine. But
basically, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right? So you can see the state of the brake rotors. Lots of corrosion on there with a little bit of wear from where we've moved it backwards and forwards. Those either need skimming or replacing outright.
I think most of that clean up with a road test, yeah.
Because there's plenty of life left in the pads. It wasn't done that long before the car went off the road, so the material can delaminate from the backing sometimes.
Yep, these look fine, but on older vehicles, whilst the brake pad might have plenty of thickness in it, sometimes it's worth a look with the wheel off. That material, it's only glued to like a metal backing plate, so on the older vehicles, yeah, it can just delaminate and fall off, or crumble away.
Hopefully that's not the case here.
No.
Okay, up she goes. Let's see how bad it is underneath, shall we?
So, that's a nice easy fix, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, can you see? There's a pinhole there.
Yeah.
And we used to get a lot of these in with, especially the high performance ones, or anything that had been mapped wasn't quite reaching its potential. That hole there will leak boost.
Okay, so a little drain, so you don't get, is it like a water drain, so you don't get
I'm
water?
going to be honest, I'm not entirely sure why there's a weak point there. It looks like someone wedged something in there at some point. Yeah, normally the customer symptom would be not getting enough boost. We'll fill all the intake hoses with smoke. It's usually pretty obvious because you'll see a stream of smoke coming out that hole. My fix, it's a self-tapping screw.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I like a cheap fix. There's going to be plenty of expensive ones on this, I think. While we're under here, you can see this has got standard subframe, which is something we might come back to in a little bit, maybe.
Yes, no problem.
I mentioned in the intro to probably the previous video by now about OEM Plus. This is where that might start. Anyway, moving swiftly on. It's got lots of underseal of the oil variety hanging around under here. What do we think that is?
I think a sniff test to be appropriate. It smells like engine oil. It hasn't got that transmission pungent smell. Yeah. It might well just be the rear main oil seal weeping. I mean, unless you were to do a full...
That's a gearbox off job, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. It depends how far you want to go with it.
Yeah.
It's tempting not to mention it because it's not a problem, and some customers would be alarmed that there's potentially a small leak. We quite often say what we see, so we would advise that was weeping oil, but at the same time, I'm happy to have a conversation with the customer to say we've only noticed it because we've seen it. There's no repair required. Yeah.
Anything else you spot here that's a concern?
Not really, no.
A pump held in with a cable tie, that's always a good sign.
Yeah.
But
it's secure.
Yeah.
It works. We have got to take a look at the
rear wash wipe wasn't functioning.
That's right.
So,
yeah.
There's something somewhere. It sounded like the pump was running.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was running to an open pipe or it's...
Yeah, that's why I was concerned about the water there. But like I said, I think that's just run off the scuttle panel.
We had a bit of a blind panic. There's these puddles of what appeared to be water. They could have been anything at the time, but did do a wash wipe test. So obviously the drains are working.
I think they're actually off the headlamp washers.
Yeah, they might well be. So surprisingly, well, that one didn't jet, but it did work, and that one did jet and did work, which is quite a miracle for these things. There is so much wrong with this car. We're going to be back next time for part 3 of the Volvo 850 T5R appraisal. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.
Really. We'll assess.
Somebody's using something that smells amazing.
It does. I know what that is.
It's that GT85.
It is. That's exactly what it is.
They should make that as an aftershave. Might only attract mechanics, but you know.
Well,
I do love that smell.